I'm Anya Sharma, 28 years old. They said my father, the founder of Ascend AI, died in a tragic accident. And while I was still arranging his funeral, they were already tearing his legacy apart. The ringleader, ironically, was Daniel Albright, the right-hand man my father trusted most. He thought I was just some weak girl they could walk all over. But he was wrong. My father left me a USB drive, and on it was the horrifying truth. He was murdered for Chimera, a super AI capable of changing the world. Tomorrow, at the board meeting, they're expecting a victim to show up and surrender. But they won't see tears. They're going to face the final weapon my father created and a revenge they never saw coming. She ran a hand through her dark, wavy hair, pushing away the lingering image of the crumpled metal and shattered glass. At 28, Anya was no stranger to loss, but this was different. Her father was the bedrock of her world, the co-founder of Ascend AI, the startup that was both her family legacy and her passion. Now, that legacy felt like a crumbling edifice. The past week had been a blur of funeral arrangements, sympathetic whispers, and the gnawing feeling that something was deeply wrong. Her mother, Lena Sharma, still reeling from the shock, had handed her a small, tarnished silver box found among her father's personal effects. "He always kept this close, Anya," Lena had said, her voice thick with unshed tears. Said it held his future. Inside, nestled on a bed of faded velvet, was a single, unremarkable USB drive. It looked like any other, scarred with a few scratches, a faint, almost invisible symbol etched into its metallic casing, a stylized A intertwined with a helix. Anya plugged it into her personal laptop, a relic compared to the high-performance machines at Ascend. A cryptic folder appeared, Project Chimera V20. Her heart pounded. Her father had mentioned a Chimera project years ago, a passion project he'd pursued in secret, but had always dismissed it as too ambitious, even for me. She tried to open the files, but they were encrypted with a passphrase. A series of attempts using birthdays, anniversaries, and even their old cat's name proved fruitless. This was a lock meant for one person. The knock on her apartment door startled her. It was Daniel Albright, her father's protege and Ascend AI's current CTO. Daniel, with his impeccably tailored suits and a smile that rarely reached his eyes, was a stark contrast to her father's rumpled shirts and genuine warmth. He offered condolences, his voice smooth and practiced. "Anya, I'm so sorry for your loss. Vikram was a mentor, a friend. He'll be sorely missed, both personally and professionally." "Thank you, Daniel," Anya replied, trying to keep her voice steady. She didn't quite trust him. There was a calculating glint in his eyes that always made her uneasy. He then shifted the conversation. "Look, I know this is a terrible time, but there are complications. Since Vikram's passing, there's been a lot of scrutiny. Our stock has dipped. The board is nervous." Anya stiffened. "What are you saying?" "Tech Titan," Daniel began, mentioning the industry behemoth that overshadowed all others. "They've made an offer. A hostile takeover bid, technically. They're citing management instability and lack of clear leadership. They want to absorb us." Anya felt a chill. Ascend AI was her father's dream, their family's creation. "No, we can fight this." "We might not have a choice," Daniel said, his gaze unwavering. "They're powerful, Anya, and they have resources we can only dream of. They specifically want our neural network architecture, the core of our predictive analytics. The board is leaning towards accepting. It might be the only way to save jobs, save the company, even if it means losing our identity." His words felt like a betrayal. Her father had always preached independence, innovation. This was everything he fought against. "Give me time, Daniel, let me find a way." He gave her a sympathetic yet firm look. "Time is a luxury we don't have. The board meeting is scheduled for Friday. You know how these things go." As Daniel left, Anya's mind raced. Tech Titan. Their aggressive tactics were legendary, but targeting Ascend AI now after her father's death, it felt too convenient. Was it a coincidence, or was there a connection? The USB drive in her laptop seemed to hum with unanswered questions. The next few days were a blur of frantic activity. Anya delved into her father's old research papers, his notebooks, anything that might hint at the passphrase. She replayed conversations, searching for a forgotten word, an inside joke. Nothing. Meanwhile, news of Tech Titan's bid spread like wildfire through Ascend AI. Whispers of layoffs, restructuring, and the erasure of their company culture filled the halls. Anya felt the weight of it all, the anxious faces of her colleagues, the nervous energy in the air. Among those colleagues was Dr. Elias Thorne, a brilliant but eccentric AI ethicist who had joined Ascend a year ago. He was older, with a shock of white hair and kind, discerning eyes. Anya respected his sharp mind, even if his warnings about the future of AI sometimes bordered on dystopian. She also had Ben Carter, a junior engineer whose desk was next to hers, a young man brimming with idealism and admiration for her father. On Wednesday evening, a memory sparked. Her father, a twinkle in his eye, had once told her, "The most complex locks are often opened by the simplest keys, Anya, the ones everyone overlooks." He'd been talking about a complex debugging problem at the time, but what if it applied to this? What was the simplest key, the most overlooked? She remembered a recurring doodle in his notebooks, a stylized bird taking flight. He called it Phoenix Rising. She typed Phoenix Rising into the password prompt. Access granted. Anya gasped. The folder opened, revealing a labyrinth of files, code, and schematics unlike anything she had ever seen. This wasn't just another AI project. This was revolutionary. Project Chimera V20 was a self-evolving AI, capable of learning, adapting, and even predicting human behavior with terrifying accuracy. It wasn't just a neural network, it was a digital consciousness, a nascent form of general artificial intelligence. Her father had been working on AGI, something thought to be decades away, and he had done it in secret. As she delved deeper into the code, a knot formed in her stomach. His comments, usually witty and insightful, now carried a note of urgency, almost fear. Potential for unprecedented societal impact, one line read. Another, ethical safeguards paramount, uncontrolled deployment unthinkable. Then she found it, a hidden subfolder marked Diagnostic Root Access. Inside, a single file, V Sharma log critical, txt. The log detailed her father's final days. He had discovered a critical vulnerability, a backdoor, not in the Chimera AI itself, but in the base-level operating system it was built upon. This backdoor, if exploited, could allow external control over the AI, turning its immense predictive power into a weapon. The log entries became more frantic. He suspected a mole, someone trying to weaponize his creation. "Daniel," she whispered, the name a cold realization. Daniel Albright had helped her father with the base OS development years ago. He had deep knowledge of its architecture. The final entry in the log chilled her to the bone. "They know, they're coming, must hide Chimera, protect it, protect Anya. Vehicle anomaly detected, overriding system failure." Her father hadn't died in an accident, he had been murdered. And Tech Titan, the corporation now trying to devour Ascend AI, was almost certainly behind it. They knew about Chimera and they wanted it. They had eliminated her father to get it. Anya felt a surge of cold fury. This wasn't just about saving her company anymore. It was about avenging her father and preventing a global catastrophe. The board meeting was less than 24 hours away. Anya knew she couldn't present Project Chimera V20 to the board as a defense. The ethical implications alone would scare them away, let alone the security vulnerability. Tech Titan would just seize it anyway. She needed proof, undeniable evidence of their involvement in her father's death and their intent to exploit the AI. She spent the night meticulously combing through the Chimera code, tracing the root access vulnerability, identifying the digital fingerprints her father had subtly left behind. He had anticipated this. He had built breadcrumbs into his final project, clues meant for her. The next morning, the air in Ascend AI was heavy with anticipation. Board members, investors, and a contingent from Tech Titan, led by their notoriously ruthless CEO, Julian Vance, filled the main conference room. Vance, a man with silver hair and eyes like chipped ice, exuded an aura of predatory calm. Daniel Albright sat beside him looking unnervingly composed. Anya walked in, the USB drive nestled safely in her pocket. She wore a simple black dress, her face devoid of makeup, her eyes sharp and determined. Vance offered a perfunctory nod. "Miss, thank you for joining us. I believe Daniel has informed you of our generous offer." "He has," Anya replied, her voice steady, "and I've come to present an alternative." A ripple of surprise went through the room. Daniel shot her a warning glance. "Anya, this isn't the time for emotional appeals." "This isn't about emotion, Daniel. It's about truth." Anya walked to the central display screen. "My father always believed in transparency. So I've brought something he was working on, something he believed would secure Ascend AI's future." She inserted her USB drive into the conference room's main system. A collective gasp went through the room as the Project Chimera V20 interface materialized on the screen. It was breathtakingly complex, yet elegantly designed. Data streams pulsed, predictive models spun, and an almost lifelike representation of a neural network glowed with activity. This, Anya announced, her voice resonating with newfound authority, is Project Chimera V20, a general artificial intelligence capable of evolving and adapting far beyond anything currently known. It represents a paradigm shift in AI technology. Julian Vance leaned forward, his icy gaze flickering between Anya and the screen. A tremor of avarice ran through his calculated composure. Impressive, Miss Sharma, very impressive. This changes things. We would be highly interested in acquiring this technology as well. I'm sure you would be, Anya said, a sardonic edge to her voice. She paused, letting the awe and greed in the room settle. Then she dropped her first bombshell. However, there's a critical flaw, a backdoor in the base OS, a vulnerability that could allow external control. My father discovered it in his final days. Daniel Albright's face went pale. Vance's expression hardened. My father's last log entries, Anya continued, detailed his discovery of this backdoor. He suspected foul play and attempt to weaponize Chimera. He also noted a vehicle anomaly just before his system failed. She then displayed snippets of her father's log on the screen, the final, desperate entries burning into the minds of everyone present. His car crash wasn't an accident, Anya stated, her voice trembling slightly, but her gaze unwavering as she met Vance's eyes. He was murdered. To gain control of this technology, and the one person with the deepest knowledge of that base OS, the one who helped my father develop it years ago, is sitting right here. She pointed directly at Daniel Albright. The room erupted in whispers. Daniel jumped up, his face contorted in a mask of outrage. This is insane. Anya, you're grief-stricken. You're slandering me, slandering Tech Titan. Am I? Anya challenged. My father left a trail, Daniel. Digital fingerprints in the code. He knew you would try to cover your tracks. He encoded a secondary authentication protocol into Chimera's core, a hidden layer of biometric data linked to his unique neural patterns. Only his specific neural signature could fully bypass the base OS backdoor. She then brought up a schematic, highlighting the backdoor. But my father also knew that if he fell, this protocol would need a failsafe. A dead man's switch, if you will. A sequence of commands embedded within Chimera that would, upon his confirmed incapacitation, not only disable the backdoor, but also expose its origin point to the deepest levels of the global internet security framework. Vance's eyes narrowed to slits. You're bluffing. That's a fabrication. Is it? Anya smiled coldly. The dead man's switch was activated the moment the coroner confirmed my father's death. The protocol is already running. Right now, as we speak, a copy of the root access exploit, along with the timestamps and the unique access keys used to create it, is being uploaded to Interpol, the FBI Cyber Division, and the Global Cybersecurity Alliance. It's also tracing the IP addresses of every unauthorized attempt to access it since my father's passing. She watched Daniel's face drain of all color. His eyes darted nervously between Vance and the screen. The final piece of the puzzle, Mr. Vance, Anya continued, now addressing him directly, is the identity of the person who paid Daniel. The IP addresses tracing back to the repeated, aggressive attempts to gain Chimera's root access are already being analyzed. I'm confident they will lead directly to Tech Titan's secure servers. The room was plunged into a stunned silence. The board members looked from Vance to Daniel, their faces a mixture of shock and dawning horror. Vance finally spoke, his voice dangerously low. Even if what you say is true, Miss Sharma, you've just exposed a monumental security flaw in your father's revolutionary AI. This makes it a liability, not an asset. No one will touch it now. Exactly, Anya countered, her gaze unwavering. That's the dilemma. This AI in the wrong hands with that backdoor exploited could be catastrophic. It could predict, influence, even subtly manipulate global events. It's too powerful. My father realized that. That's why he created the dead man's switch, to make sure it could never be weaponized. So, what's your proposal? A board member finally asked, his voice strained. This was Alina Vance, a veteran board member and Julian Vance's estranged sister, known for her sharp intellect and occasional clashes with her brother's ruthless business practices. Anya took a deep breath. My proposal is this. Ascend AI will not be acquired by Tech Titan. Not now, not ever. Daniel Albright will be arrested for conspiracy to commit murder and corporate espionage. And as for Project Chimera, I believe its potential for good outweighs its risks, if handled correctly. My father documented ethical safeguards, a framework for its responsible development. But the backdoor must be permanently sealed, and its development overseen by an independent, internationally recognized ethical AI committee. She looked directly at Julian Vance. "You wanted Ascend AI's technology. Now you'll get the scrutiny of every major law enforcement and cybersecurity agency in the world. Your company will be investigated for corporate espionage and potentially murder. Your reputation will be in tatters." Julian Vance's face was a mask of furious calculation, but beneath it, Anya saw a flicker of panic. He had underestimated her. He had underestimated her father's foresight. "And as for Ascend AI," Anya concluded, "we will continue to innovate. We will work with the Ethical AI Committee to ensure Chimera's power is used for the betterment of humanity, not its control. This is the choice: protect the world or become complicit in its potential downfall." Just then, the conference room doors burst open. 2 FBI agents, their faces grim, walked in, followed by local police. They went straight for Daniel Albright, cuffing him. "Daniel Albright, you're under arrest for questioning in connection with the death of Dr. Vikram Sharma and industrial espionage." Daniel's desperate pleas of innocence were drowned out by the murmur of the room. Julian Vance, for the first time, looked genuinely rattled. Anya watched the scene unfold, a profound sense of exhaustion washing over her. She had done it. She had honored her father's legacy, exposed the truth, and saved Ascend AI, albeit in a way no one could have predicted. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind. Daniel Albright's confession, under the weight of the evidence, confirmed Tech Titan's involvement. Julian Vance faced a barrage of legal battles, his company's stock plummeting as the scandal unfolded. The tragic accident of Dr. Vikram Sharma was reclassified as murder. Ascend AI, though shaken, survived. Anya, hailed as a hero within the company and, surprisingly, by the media, stepped up to lead the ethical AI development of Chimera. She worked tirelessly with the International Committee to implement her father's safeguards, ensuring that the powerful AI would never fall into the wrong hands. Among the new faces on the Ethical AI Committee was Dr. Lena Petrova, a renowned expert in AI governance and a fierce advocate for human-centric technology. Dr. Petrova, with her sharp wit and uncompromising principles, quickly became a mentor to Anya. Also joining the team was Michael Chen, a former investigative journalist turned data security specialist, brought in to ensure absolute transparency and prevent future breaches. The original backdoor was permanently sealed, a complex process that required a deep understanding of its intricate architecture. Anya dedicated herself to this, meticulously dissecting every line of code, ensuring no hidden vulnerabilities remained. It was a painstaking task, a race against time, as the world watched, holding its breath. She developed a distributed authentication system, requiring multiple independent parties to validate any high-level command, effectively decentralizing control and preventing any single entity from weaponizing Chimera again. The board, shaken by the near catastrophe, gave Anya full autonomy over Chimera's development, along with a significant investment in a new ethical AI division within Ascend. She ensured that the development team was diverse, with experts in philosophy, sociology, and ethics working alongside engineers. Dr. Elias Thorne, the ethicist, became her right-hand man, his warnings now transforming into guiding principles. One afternoon, a month after the incident, Anya found Elias Thorne in her father's old office, which was now hers. He was staring at a complex diagram of Chimera on her wall. "Anya," Elias began, his voice reflective. "Your father." He was truly ahead of his time, not just in creating Chimera, but in foreseeing its dangers. He built the solution into the problem. "He always said the greatest power came with the greatest responsibility," Anya replied, looking at the diagram. "He didn't just create a tool, he created a test of humanity." Ben Carter, the junior engineer, knocked tentatively on the open door. "Anya, Dr. Thorne, the new security protocols for the ethical review are all green. Ready for final committee approval." Anya smiled. "Excellent, Ben. Your work on the distributed ledger has been invaluable. You've earned that promotion." Ben beamed, a stark contrast to his nervous demeanor just weeks ago. Days later, Dr. Lena Petrova addressed a global symposium on AI ethics, with Anya sitting beside her. Project Chimera, under the ethical stewardship of Dr. Anya Sharma and Ascend AI, represents a new frontier, Dr. Petrova declared. "It's a testament to what is possible when innovation is tempered by profound ethical consideration. It reminds us that technology is a mirror, reflecting our values back at us. It can be a weapon, or it can be a beacon." Michael Chen, the data security specialist, then presented the robust new safeguards. We've implemented a multi-layered defense system designed for unprecedented transparency and accountability. Every major decision made by Chimera, every significant update, is logged, verified, and requires consensus from a diverse group of ethical and technical experts. There are no more backdoors, no single points of failure, no hidden agendas. The world watched. And slowly, a new trust began to form. Chimera, once a terrifying secret, was now a tool for good, assisting in climate modeling, medical research, and complex problem-solving. It was a testament to her father's true vision, finally realized under her watchful eye. Anya Sharma, the quiet engineer, had become a guardian of the future. Months later, Anya stood at her father's graveside, a quiet moment of reflection with her mother, Lena. "He would be so proud of you, Beta," Lena whispered, placing a hand on Anya's shoulder. "He always said you had his brilliance, but with a stronger heart." "He taught me everything, Mom," Anya replied, a soft smile playing on her lips. "He taught me that true power isn't about control, but about empowering others, and that the most dangerous code isn't in a program, but in the silence of injustice." Eleanor Vance, now a vocal critic of her brother's past dealings and a supporter of ethical tech, approached them respectfully. "Anya, Lena, I just wanted to say what you've done, what Ascend AI has become, it's truly inspiring. My brother's actions were inexcusable, but your response, it has shifted paradigms." "It's a new standard," Anya nodded. "Thank you, Eleanor. It was about choosing to build, not just to react." Later that evening, as Anya sat in her father's old office, now her own, looking at the city lights twinkling outside, she held the original USB drive. It was no longer just a memory of loss. It was a symbol of his foresight, his courage, and her own resilience. She reflected on the journey. She had faced monumental pressure, betrayal from someone she trusted, and the crushing weight of a global corporation's power. But she had also found allies in unexpected places: the principled ethicist, the eager young engineer, the unwavering security expert, the reformed board member, and her own mother's quiet strength. Her father's legacy wasn't just the code in Chimera. It was the belief that technology must serve humanity, not dominate it. And it was the strength he instilled in her to fight for that belief. Anya opened a blank document on her computer, the glowing cursor blinking invitingly. She began to type, not code, but a message, a manifesto for the future of Ascend AI, and perhaps for the entire tech world. In a world where technology advances exponentially, the true measure of our progress lies not in what we can build, but in how responsibly we wield that power. My journey began with loss, with the painful realization that even the brightest innovations can be twisted into tools of control and destruction. But it evolved into a mission: to transform a legacy of genius into a blueprint for ethical leadership. We proved that integrity is not a weakness, but an unyielding force. That transparency is not a vulnerability, but the bedrock of trust. And that even in the darkest moments of corporate greed and personal betrayal, the human spirit, armed with truth and conviction, can illuminate the path forward. To those who feel overwhelmed by the power structures around them, remember this: your voice, your values, and your commitment to what is right are your most formidable assets. Don't be afraid to challenge the status quo. Don't let fear silence your conscience. Seek out allies who share your vision, for collective strength can move mountains. The future of technology, and indeed the future of our world, is not predetermined. It is forged by the choices we make today. Let us choose wisdom over ambition, collaboration over domination, and empathy over profit. Let us build a future where innovation serves humanity's highest aspirations and where the promise of progress is guarded by an unwavering ethical core. Our responsibility is immense, but so is our potential. Let us build it together, with courage and integrity. This is the legacy we choose to create. She saved the document, a new kind of code, a human code. Anya Sharma closed her laptop, a quiet sense of purpose filling the room. The fight was far from over, but the first, most crucial battle had been won, and she was ready for whatever came next.